And g'day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, and all you fellow footy followers out there. Welcome again to another episode of Back to the Bench TV. And yes, before we start, yes, I know my voice is fucked. So before you make fun of me, guys, I know my voice is a bit cooked up. Yeah. Thanks to those umpires
on
the
TV
weekend,
too much yesterday,
ruining my weekend, you umpires. But we'll get stuck into them later. But as I said, COVID-55 has implemented stage 4 restrictions. We've got no Joseph, the Yubi with us, who will cross to us soon. But, and my voice is still fucked, but that's not stopping. The show must go on.
The show is going on.
I've got Adam here joining me.
And today we've got something different today. We've got the mid-season, you could call it, or the
mid-season
round 11
review.
out of 17, but call it the mid-season, season so far review, whatever you want. Don't get too sensitive about it. Just, whatever you want to call it.
And before we start, I want everyone to rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How fucked is my voice right now? Also, we're going to start this mid-season review, whatever you want to call it. We got a few categories we want to follow. So we're going to review each team, all 18 clubs in the comp. Player of the season, most improved, player that surprised you, best signing, player who didn't perform to expectation, best youngster, and the most missed player for that club this year, as well as their ladder prediction.
Also, we've got our All-Australian predictions, players who could be leaving the club, and trade targets the club may be linked to, or who we believe would be a good fit for that club. We'll kick off with...
also, and before we do go, you see on the back of our laptops, we've got Kebab Cuisine.
241 Manningham Road. 241 Manningham Road. Just across the road down from Marsden College. So
all you Marsden lovers, you love the kebabs. No, honestly, for the most juiciest, scrum-dilly-umptious motherfucking kebabs you ever want to taste, hit him up, alright? He'll do you a good deal, don't worry.
He'll sort you out, don't worry.
Anyway, we will start with Adelaide. And
that club is a big shambles at the moment.
I'm just testing my voice.
Big shambles at the moment.
Testing the voice box.
Crows, mid-season review. So, obviously they're 0-11. Absolute shambles right now. Serious issues at that club. Lost on the weekend to Melbourne. They'll finish last this year. Prediction 18th. They're already 3 wins behind.
Yeah.
It will kick off player of the season. I think has been Brad Crouch. He's averaged 20 disposals, 5 clearances. He's been the main ball winner in that midfield. They've really missed him through injury lately. But
shame his brother can't follow suit.
His brother backs him up and just handballs to that opposition. That's what he's good at, doesn't he? That fucking... all respect to you, mate.
Jesus. We're bleeping that.
And we'll go to most improved player. We've got Riley O'Brien. He just capping off from last year. He's great form on the ruck. He's really replaced Sauce Jacobs well, averaging 13 disposals, 23 hitouts, 3 marks. Number 1 ruck in the comp, and probably one of the top 5 this year, I reckon. What else do you think of Adelaide?
Well, we do have a question from Jordan Jaworski, and he says, what's the plan for the Crows now? Jordan asks, and he says, is it a 1 to 3 year rebuild? What's the plan for them now? How long is the rebuild going to take? Because the way I see it, they're not getting anywhere this year. As much as people are going to say they're coming. Because in fact, as they all say, you can't polish a turd.
No,
that's where I'm. My mindset's with them right now.
The fucking Crow, it's struggling to fly at the moment.
It is.
It's dead on the ground.
That's one way to put it.
Wings
honestly.
shot and fucking falling to pieces. That Crow.
Well, and anyway, I've got best signing. Did you mention Ben Keys?
Ben Keys has been great.
Was he listed free agent from...
Yeah, from the Lions.
Yeah.
Averaging 15 disposals and 4 clearances.
Yeah.
Also, we know he's a good tagger.
Yeah. Player that surprised me negatively was Gibbs. He's done shit.
Gibbs, can't get to the side, Gibbsy. Obviously a veteran of the game.
Yeah. And most missed player, Rory Sloane. And lastly, now I picked this player out of my ass because I can't pick their best youngster right now. So I picked him out of my ass. Now, his name is Chase Jones. He was picked 10 in the 2018 Super Draft.
Yep.
I don't know who to pick, so I just picked him out of my ass. I literally picked him out abroad where the sun don't shine, honestly.
Yeah.
And I actually feel sorry for this guy because he's funny because out of every 2018 Super Draft redraft in the top 10, every single one I've seen, Chase Jones is number 10.
Yeah,
Like, he's the worst.
Deservedly.
Like, he's got the bad spotlight because not taking anything away from him because he got such good players around, like, in that draft. So he's going to go in that, like, the last pick of that draft, top 10 reorder.
Yeah.
But having said that, of that super draft, we will go to Elijah Halliday, his name is. Elijah, how are you, pal? Good to hear from you. We love you, Elijah. I don't know who you are, but he says review of last year's draft. But because it's too early to, really pluck out the players in that draft, too early to judge, we're going to change up a bit and go to the 2018 super draft, as we just talked about just a moments ago. And helping us really dissect that 2018 super draft,
We've got Joseph Ayub, our co-host, in his fucking winter's warm as cozy, scrumptious house down in Bulleen.
Yeah.
And here he is, the prick.
Can you leave his address as well?
Hey mate, how are you? Good to have you on.
Hello, gents. Thanks for having me on your little twin review.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no worries,
mate.
pal.
You won?
Now, anyway, can you kick off? Now, what we're going to do is us three. Well, I am dissecting this draft and I'm reordering the top 10. What Yubi's doing, he's doing overall the top 10. So can you start with your go, Yubi?
Alright, gents. So, 2018 Super Draft, redraft. I've based this selection, based off the impact these players have had at their current clubs at the moment and the vital role they are playing. So, at number 1, you can't go past Bailey Smith. He was taken at pick 7 for the Bulldogs. And he's just a genuine starter for the Doggies in that midfield. He's even getting a good look at by other clubs. The other clubs are tagging him, so he's probably the top talent in that draft so far. So I've got him at number 1. 2, I've got Sammy Walsh. His stats suggest why he should be, no doubt, arguably 1 or 2. But at the moment, Smith's ahead of him. But no doubt, Sammy Walsh is having a good impact at Carlton. And number 3, Isaac Rankin holds his spot. The first couple of weeks he debuted, I guess that says it all for itself, really. He's an exciting young electric talent. And he holds his spot number 3. 4, I've got Jack Lukosius. Now he dropped, I believe he was...
The coach is out.
Yeah,
Go on.
Alright. He's very, what do you call it? He's very consistent for the Suns.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's got to go back and go forward. I've got him at 4. 5, I've got Connor Rose. I don't think he's had much of an impact this year as he did last year, but he's a good young talent for Port. 6, I've got Max King. He was picked 4. I've got him at 6 now.
Lukosius is better than Max King. Jeez. Fuck, I take balls. You're saying Lukosius is better than Max King. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, he even deserves to carry Max King's luggage.
Yeah, no, Max King fucking...
Doesn't deserve to use his...
Max King pours fucking milk in his cereal.
No.
Whatever that means.
In the coach's cereal.
Yeah.
He's played 10 games, but he didn't have much of an impact last year. Jack Lukosius last year played...
Well, to be fair, can't impact when he's at ACL. His ACL ain't off his knee. No,
What do you want the guy to do? Play
what do you want to do? How's he going to impact? Is it an ACL injury, mate?
I can't hear.
Is it an ACL injury? How's he going to impact last year?
I'm saying based on impact. This top 10's based on impact.
He's no Mabry or Cho. He can't pull out his third leg and play with that one.
Oi!
I'm not saying that. They
No, go on.
He's dropping down the list.
Yeah, fair enough, go on.
Max King didn't have an impact last year, so therefore Jack Lukosius...
Yeah, true, okay, I see your point.
Go on.
Go on.
That's what they say King won't progress and become better than Jack. He probably will. More than likely will.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. We've got Ben King at number 7. He was taken at pick 6. Isaac Quaynor was taken at pick 13. I've got him at 8. Number 9, I've got AJ Lewis. Now, he was pick 18. Oh, what a laughing. They got him for absolute bargain.
Who's his Dersma?
Hey?
Who's his Butters? Oh, Butters.
Dersma.
Which one?
Dersma.
Oh,
Dersma.
Moving on. Number 10, I've got Zach Butters.
I like butter!
He was taken at 12, and he's a very good, young, consistent player for Port, and he plays half back, doesn't he?
Yeah, everywhere. So essentially, Port
Great utility.
got 3 top 10s.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Good on you.
Go on your Port. That's why they're first
Out
ladder.
of that top 10, I reckon Port
Move to
are
Port.
laughing from that.
So are
They've
you?
done very well.
Yeah.
They've got a bright future for Adelaide and it's
Yeah.
starting to show now.
Beautiful. You done? Oh, beautiful.
All right.
With Adelaide, well, I was going to quickly on Adelaide. All Australian predictions, none. Dog shit. No offence. Most untitled player this year, Paul Seedsman.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's very good off the wing. Great player. Trade targets. Now, being in a rebuild phase, they should just be looking at draft picks, trading out some older experienced heads for the
Of course.
and players leaving. Brad Crouch out of contract, Rory Atkins out of contract, and Luke Brown out of contract.
Well, talk about draft picks. I want to do my 2018 draft, so get this done quickly. Number 1, Bailey Smith, averaging 20 touches this year. Absolutely going miles ahead of every other player in that draft. Number 2, got Rankin, based on talent. He's just a superstar. He's going to be a superstar for the next decade. Now, pick 3 and 4. I couldn't choose between these two because they're so close in ability and so close in talent. But it was between Rosie and Wild. I picked Rosie just based on the fact that Port are doing better than Carlton.
Yeah.
They're first. And then I've got Walsh, number 4, despite him being rising star last year. I've got Max King.
I disagree with that. You've got Walsh, number 4, and he won the Rising Star last year
yes.
at Carlton.
Yeah.
At Carlton, he won the Rising Star.
Okay. Louis Taylor, didn't he win a rising star in fucking? I know he's shit now, but he's not shit. He's alright. But Squizzy Taylor
Mate,
from Sydney.
Rising Star's not a good.
Last year.
Rising Star's a pretty.
Mate, Reece Palmer won a rising star.
Yeah, Reece Palmer won a rising star.
And he doesn't play anymore. He played 100 games. And I
Yeah,
was
but he
telling-
played at GWS.
Reece Palmer he won it over Cyril, didn't he?
He won over Freo.
No, but who was in that rising star class?
Oh, yeah, he won it
God,
earlier,
I think
right.
Bryce Gibbs.
But Freo was someone-
Joel Sultan.
saying-
Anyway, hang on.
You know?
Then I've got the King brothers at 5 and 6. Now I put Max ahead of Ben, just purely on the fact that Max has come back from ACL injury. He's got less experience, and he's got the same amount of goals. They're both on 16 goals each in the comp. Then I've got Ben King at 6, Blakey the Lizard at 7, Jack Lacoste is 8, 9 Taron Thomas, and 10 old mate Chase Jones. Where's your top 10?
Top 10, I didn't do it, can't be fucked.
Fair enough. Well, anyway,
And most missed player this year, Rory Sloane.
Yeah.
Is he the skipper?
We'll move to Brisbane. So,
Fuck off!
no, we'll move to Brisbane.
Alright.
Number 3. So question number 3. Andrew Galchinevsky. Can't fucking pronounce that name.
You better be a good question, mate. Took a while to pronounce that name. Better be a
Can't
good one.
pronounce that name to save my life. Fair to say, I would have known from my grandma's fucking box of cooking utensils, but we got you on board, mate. Glad to see you tuning on the show. Thanks for that. Now he's asking for the next team. Is Brisbane's poor goal kicking going to cost them a top 4 spot? What do you think?
What do I think? I think, yeah, for sure. Like, that Richmond game was very winnable a couple of weeks ago. Last week.
Yeah.
I reckon, it's easy to blame goal kicking, but in hindsight, you kicked straight, you could have won that game.
Against Adelaide, what they kick? 8 goals, 20.
Even that game, percentage booster.
was bad. 10 goals, 20 or something.
Of
Lockie
course.
Neal kicked 06.
Especially this top 4 is fucking very tight.
The poor punsters.
Tight as fucking.
Don't go there.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Yubi? What do you reckon on that?
Relax the swearing.
What are your thoughts on
Is
that?
Brisbane's poor goal kicking going to cost them a top 4 spot, UB? Yes or no?
How many behinds did they kick? 8? What was it? 18?
Oh, it was
19?
5 goals, 16 or something against.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, yes or no? We'll couple a top 4 spot.
Will it cost them a top 4 spot? I don't think so, because the fact that they had 25 score involvements, they had how many goal opportunities did they have?
Yeah,
Couple.
few.
If they're getting the ball down there and they're shooting for goal, I reckon they can mop that up
Yeah.
quite easily.
Well, the fact that they're missing goals in these games, what's it going to be like when they hit finals and the pressure hits? They're going to miss even more. So that the concern is how they're going to kick straight in finals with pressure on.
Yeah, I know.
I think that was just an off week from a goal kicking.
So they're third, 7 and 3 with a percentage of 117.9. Now, player of the season, Lockie Neal, most touched in the AFL,
29
most
disposals.
improved, Lincoln McCarthy, Hugh McGluggage. Player that surprised me, Zach Bailey. Best signing and pickup, Cam Ellis-Yeoman. Person didn't perform to expectation.
Yeoman.
Hang on. Eric Hipwood. Hugh McCluggage, best under 21 player. Most missed player, Stephen Martin. And underrated, Jared Lyons. I picked him to go third.
There's a mine. So player of the season, Lockie Neal. 29 disposals, average 6 clearances. Most improved, Jared Lyons and Zach Bailey. Player that surprised me was Zach Bailey. Best signing, Cam Ellis-Yeoman. He's not great, but he's one of the only signings, so you got to give some credit to the prick. Now, player didn't perform to my expectation. This kid's fucked. Cam Rayner, I'm sorry to say, but 9 goals in 9 games or whatever. He's the number 1 draft pick. I don't know. He's not doing as much as he should. Best under 21 player, Hugh McCluggage and Jared Berry.
Yep.
Player most missed, Stephen Martin. All Australian predictions, Harris Andrews, Lockie Neal, Charlie Cameron. Most underrated, Jared Lyons. And trade targets should be a big forward. Hipwood's inconsistent, so I think Ben Brown could be an option. Chris Fagan has a good reputation of getting players across the line. So Ben Brown would be a great fit, but I don't know where he stands there with Lyons. Ladder prediction third.
Third? Alright, cool. Move to Carlton. Move to Carlton. So the Blues are they're hitting kind of dropping form right now. So they're 13th, 4-6, 97.6%. They went down to a 93%, I think. Player of the season, Jacob Wiedering, keeping a lot of players to 0 goals. Most improved, Will Setterfield, second in their tackles. Jesus Christ, he's going hard.
Go on.
The funny thing about Levi Casbolt is he's on 13 goals for this year, but like he kicks it out on the full. So it makes his ratio look good. I think he's kicked about 10 set shots out on the full this year.
I know, it doesn't show up.
13 goals for. 13 goals for.
He's gone.
13 goals for. Anyway, he makes himself look better than he actually is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I don't know where he does it.
Yeah, it's funny because Casbolt, right? I think based off Casbolt, they should introduce a new rule to the AFL. The new rule should be for your goal ratios, goals behind out of bounds on the full. Because like out of the full, like you're literally saving yourself. You know, a club could look at you and say this bloke's got 65% goal efficiency, but he's really got 40% because his out of the fulls aren't counted into the ratio. So Casbolt, mate, well done.
What would he be? 13 goals, 0.4, 0.26?
Probably.
At that rate?
Yeah.
Did you see the shot against West Coast? It nearly missed his foot.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know.
He wasn't far at all.
Anyway, he has improved. He's definitely better than he was back in the day. We can agree on that. And I also think most improved as well, Mick Gibbons. He had a hard run at it in the VFL. Before we do touch on Gibbons, I just want to say there's a bit of technical difficulties. You can't trust technology these days.
Yeah.
He cut out.
Sipping on his beers, the prick.
Anyway, Gibbons VFL took him 5 years to get a run at it. Finally got his chance at Carlton. Now he's making the most of it. I think he's improved heaps. Player that surprised me, pitting it. Strength. That was fucking cringe. Eddie Betts, Cripps surprised me negatively. He hasn't been in his best form. Best signing, Jack Martin. Great attack on the ball. Ferocious, hard at it. Not performing to expectation. Cripps, Murphy, Patricia Seaton, Doherty's been pretty ordinary since his ACLs, as you'd probably expect. Best under 21 player, Sam Walsh. Most missed player this year, obviously Charlie Curnow, that's a given. And underrated, Mick Gibbons and David Cunningham as the pressure half forwards. Ladder prediction 11th. Where you at with the players now?
Player of the season, obviously Jacob Wiedering, all Australian form. He shut down his opponents every week. Even Jack Martin's probably been one of their best players. Most improved player, Will Setterfield through that midfield, supporting Cripps, taking the load off Cripps as well, which is great, as well as Wiedering. Player that surprised me, Matt Kennedy, averaging 16 disposals and 4 marks. He's been great in the midfield. Best signing, Jack Martin through the pre-season draft. Player who didn't form the expectations is Sam Patricia-Seaton. In the back line, I think, is not his position. He's very exposed in the back line through lack of defensiveness. Not a backman. Even Mitch McGovern, he hasn't shown off his talent as much as he would like. Best young player, Sam Walsh. And with the last few in, most missed player this season, Charlie Curnow.
Ladder prediction?
Ladder prediction 11th. And trade targets, an experienced mid such as Ollie Wines and Brad Crouch. Even a small forward in Papley would be really nice. Players leaving, no one really at the door apart from maybe Betts and Simpson retiring. And all showing predictions.
And his mate Murphy.
maybe Murphy as well.
Yeah.
He could hang him up
And
soon.
Cruiser.
Cruiser 2 injuries. All Australian predictions, Jacob Wiedering, I think he's probably a very good chance. And most underrated player, Michael Gibbons.
And also a question from Daniel Mercury. Shout out Daniel Mercury. He's also asked us, will Carlton make the 8? I said no, never were in contention, just all false hope. Massive improvements for them this year, but they're never going to make the finals.
I think next year.
Maybe next year even, but and I'll tell you why they won't make finals, because there's actually a stat that came out today. In Teague's 21 games as coaching for the Blues, Carlton on 14 occasions of the 21 games have copped 5 goals straight, conceded 5 goals straight in any part of the game. The whole margin has just flipped over. 14, that's 2 out of every 3 games. So I know finals team is going to have that. They're literally copying against West Coast, copped 5 goals in a row out of nothing. Hawthorn copped like 7 in a row. I don't think they're as young as people think. They got Betts, Murphy, Ed Curnow, Levi, Casbolt. They got to move on from these guys.
Teague plays the more experienced heads.
And a touch on Teague as well. I don't know about his tactics. Like guys like Pitternet, he's putting in the ruck when a young Tom DeConning is doing well on Nick Nat. Getting a guy like Betts over Dan Butler, who is 10 years younger and he's got double the goals. Betts, he did well around the ground, but he hasn't got a goal in his last 3 games, so that was a question mark on him.
I reckon Teague's getting told by the club to play the more experienced heads, because obviously winning's been a big issue for us over the last 5 years, so need to get that ratio up. Unless Bolton on the other hand was instructed to play more kids, but I don't know.
Anyway, we'll move to the Pies. They're currently 8th, 5-5, percentage of 112%. Not bad. They can be better. They had those 2 disappointing losses against Freo and West Coast back to back. I'm going to play the season for them now. I don't know if anyone would agree with this, but I'll put Brandon Maynard averaging 20 touches, doing well half back, filling the void for Jeremy Howe. Most improved Dacos, becoming a good player like his old man. Macedonian Marvel as well. Player that surprised me, Noble. He's got great attack off half back. They got him in the mid-season draft last year. He's very surprising. Best signing pickup, Darcy Cameron. He's been a handy player up forward in the ruck from Sydney. Didn't perform to expectation. Everyone knows this. Well, Dane Beams is obvious. He hasn't played a game. Everyone had high hopes for him. One of the elite midfielders coming into that team last year. He hasn't played a game. I don't know what's happened with him. Is he retired or whatever? Best young player, Stevenson and Isaac Quaynor. Most missed player this year, Jeremy Howe by a length of Flemington straight. And underrated, Jordan Rufford and Brody Mychek. Brody Mychek, former VFL player, still a rookie. I can't believe that. He's still in their rookie list, you know that? He's still in their rookie list. And he's kicking goals. A lot of prediction, I got him at 6th.
Nice. I got player of the season, Brandon Maynard. Obviously been a great player of half-back. Really stepping into Jeremy Howe's shoes there. Darcy Moore off half-back, centre half-back has been great. So they're the 2 best players this year for them. Most improved, I think, Josh Dacos and Maynard. Player that surprised me was definitely John Noble from the Waffle, I think it was, mid-season draft. Best signing, Darcy Cameron. He's played his role well. When Grundy goes off onto the bench, he's very serviceable in the ruck and up forward. Player didn't perform to expectation. I'd have to say is Stevenson. Obviously, he had his pre-season woes, some injuries there, which really set him back.
I think 8 goals this year, 8 goals in 5 games.
He didn't perform to expectation, I don't believe. But he's still a great young player, I believe. As well as Josh Dacos, great goal he kicked against the Swans, just like his dad, as he would. Most missed player, Jeremy Howe, very, very strong off halfback. And now I want to touch on trade targets. I think even Ben Brown, and I heard his name pop up again before for Brisbane. I think he'd be perfect for Collingwood. Obviously, Mychek, he's the only real main target up there. He needs some support, I think. So Ben Brown, I think they can, throw the kitchen sink at him. Players leaving, obviously to go out of contract. Mason Cox, obviously he could be shown the door, and Travis Varco is out of contract as well. Cool. And all Australian predictions, we'll have Moore, Maynard, and Taylor Adams.
Cool. Anyway, the next team we'll go to the Bombers. They're currently 10th, 5-4, and 88.7% on the ladder. Now they've been fairly consistent. They did get robbed on the weekend by the umpires, and that's another talking point on this show. But
They fucking choked.
We'll talk about that later. They did choke, but the umpires didn't help either.
No.
Hang on, just 1 second. Player of the season got Zach Merritt. He's averaging 130 super coach. Sard, off half back. He's in All-Australian contention. Very strong contender. Behind Jake Lloyd from the Swans. Most improved player, I've got Parrish and McGrath. I think Parrish has stepped up his game. He's also adding goals to his game as well.
Yep.
Kicking goals, kicked really important goals as well, especially against the Swans. Player that surprised me, Draper. He's got a lot of confidence about him. He's a big presence. Take to a good mark as well. He's got that real aura about him. He's really up and about on the team, which I love. Best pickup and signing or recruit, Jacob Townsend from Richmond. And I'm actually surprised he got listed because he was actually a good player in that grand final 2017. I don't know how he got listed, but he's not a bad player. He really what's the word for him? He's no superstar, but he tries his heart out, and that's what I love about him. Players not performing to expectation. David Zarakis, he's been very poor this year.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to move on from him this year. I don't know where he's at. Dylan Shields has been great. Arazu Fantasia.
Dylan Shields has been pretty good.
Has he? Okay,
Yeah, yes.
I'll take that back. Sorry, that was a bad one. I'm sending myself back to the bench for that one. Orazio has been pretty poor this year as well. Best young player, I was going to say McGrath or Izurk Thatcher.
Yep.
And most missed play this year, easily Joe Danaher, even though the fucking prick doesn't play.
No, Coins are cool.
He's still a missed player.
Coins can put on a barbecue.
There was a stat.
Could put them on a barbecue and they'll fucking overcook. Because right now they're cooked.
Well, there's a stat without Danaher and Orazio together, they've missed like how many goals? They've still got Tipper, but I don't know. Most underrated player got Redmond. I think he's good, and Ridley, he's a really good player as well. Ladder prediction, I got him 9th. I think they'll just miss out. I even think that's pretty generous. But we'll go with you.
They're a game in hand as well because that Melbourne game got postponed, so that's going to really help them towards the end of the season.
Yep.
We'll see. There's still a good tension. It's very tight. But player of the season, definitely Merritt and Sard, been great this year. Most improved, Andy McGrath. He's getting more midfield minutes, showing his worth as number 1 draft pick. And also a very underrated player, Jordan Ridley, averaging 17 disposals at 87% efficiency average and 7 marks averaged. He could be even All-Australian Smokey. He's a great player. He's also most surprised player, Jordan Ridley. Best recruit, as Nick said, Jacob Townsend, great player from Richmond. I don't know why they listed him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Player who didn't perform to expectation, Orazio Fantasia, 1 goal in 5 games. Best young player, Ridley and Andy McGrath, even Darcy Parrish. Francis is a very good young player. Player missed this year, Joe Danaher. Can't fucking play since last played
2017 was his last full season.
And also Jake Stringer, he's very missed. He was actually leading the Coleman
Really?
before he got injured. Yeah,
That's
that
a
night
good
against the
fact.
Pie, he killed the Pies, 4 goals. Most underrated player, Jordan Ridley. And I want to get onto this, Nick, before we shut the fuck up. Trade targets. And then a big body midfielder. They're linked to Will Brodie from the Gold Coast Suns. Funny enough, the prick also played in their 2 scratch match.
Really?
That's pretty ordinary.
Can 2020 get any more fucked up?
A
Honestly?
Gold Coast players actually played in Essendon's Preki match.
That's
That's
unheard
pretty
of.
fucked.
That's unheard
He's
of.
wearing Essendon jumper.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, wow, and even Brad Crouch and Ollie Wines would even fill that void. So they're more trade targets. Players leaving, Danaher, he's good as gone. Can't see him there next year.
Yeah.
And Bell Chambers yet to resign. All Australian predictions, Sard of halfback and Merritt, maybe a bench role.
Cool. And we'll talk about that game now. We saw that. Now, now who's asked the question? Brad Bean has asked us. Shout out to Brad
Brad
Bean.
Bean, Dobrodor, brrr.
Have the umpires ruined the enjoyment of watching the game? Now, because we saw that tackle, we saw the bump on Callum Ward, absolutely flopped. Umpires literally gave him the free kick, which pretty much cost them the game. We saw Travis Seaton's 2 tackles that copped it. West Coast Eagles against Carlton, 17 tackles inside 50 for Carlton, no free kicks. 5 in West Coast, 3 free kicks, 2 goals from that. So the umpires are so consistent this year. They've always been bad, the umpires, but I reckon they're next level this year. They're like really bad this year.
Ever since that Clarko bloke opened his mouth
It's
up.
ridiculous.
I spoke about him in moments a few weeks ago. It was actually a shame because his mob beat my mob, but I said some comments about him, and he's just he's a big influence in the game. Obviously, 4 premierships. Anything he says, the umpires will bow down to him.
Yeah.
And, his comments are actually ruining the game. So thanks, Clarko, mate.
Well, yeah, do you think they're ruining the game, umpires?
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
I don't enjoy it anymore. Every time a player gets tackled now, I hold my breath. Because you don't know if he's going to be holding the ball.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want is players stop going for the footy. Because that's the whole point of the game, to go for the footy.
It's made the rule very controversial now.
Yeah. And the last thing you want is players not wanting to go for the footy because they're scared they're going to get pinned. And that's ruining the whole main point of the game. I think it's ridiculous.
Anyway, the next team I want to touch on is the Fremantle Dockers. I'll start this one off. Yep. Player of the season, Michael Walters, leading the disposals and score involvements. With Fife going down, he just really stepped up in that midfield. He's been great. Hats off to him, little Sonny Walters. And even Matty Taberner leading the goal kicking with 16 goals. And he's got the second most contested marks in the comp. He's been great. And even in the Coleman, I think he's 7th with 16 goals. He's been a great. He's also down as my most improved player.
Yep.
Players that surprised me, Luke Ryan. Picked him up a few years ago from the Waffle. Experienced head. Controls the back line well. Good rebound of halfback. Best signing has been Caleb Serong. I think it was pick 8 or pick 7 in the national draft. Averaging 15 disposals, 72% efficiency. He absolutely killed the Pies, which is great to see. Player who hasn't performed to my expectation has been Rory Lobb. Now, from GWS, he was rumoured to get about 800k a year. That's what I heard. Not that he was worth that, but I suspect Fremantle would be paying that salary along with Giants because he was contracted, I'm pretty sure. So him to be on that much money and playing like this, he's just definitely not performing to expectation. Best young player, as I said before, Caleb Serong, even Andy Brayshaw. Players most missed, Jesse Hogan's had his issues this year. Stephen Hill's been injured for fucking yonks. Most underrated player, Brett Bewley and Luke Ryan. Players leaving, Cam McCarthy out of contract, and David Mundy could be retiring. And All-Australian predictions, maybe All-Australian squad for Matt Taberner. If they keep playing like this.
Walters is my best player of the season for them. Leading disposals, scoring involvements, leading contested posies. Taberner's leading the goals.
The only thing is, there's better small forwards this year.
Yeah.
But Taberner, it's probably a big call, but we'll call him a spud a few weeks ago. I'll take that back. Yeah. He's a great player.
I see
he gets his hands on the pill.
He's a good player.
Great markers at 50, as I said. Second most contested possession.
He's my most improved too. Most improved player too. He's taken 55 marks. He's leading Freo's mark count. Luke Ryan players surprised me. Same as you. Caleb Serong, best recruit this year. Players that performed to expectation. Brandon Matera. He was very ordinary against the Pies. He's very ordinary.
Yeah, player. No, he's not great.
He was alright at Gold Coast.
He's 5 goals this year. 5 goals.
Didn't he trade for a second round pick?
5 goals, a small forward.
Yeah, it's poor. He's literally in omission form right now. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story. Best young player, Serong and Brayshaw. Most missed player this year, Jesse Hogan. You know what he can do when he's fit. And Luke Ryan, most underrated player. I got him to finish bottom 4, 15th. But I do think they have some exciting times. Not exciting times ahead, but they're not all doom and gloom.
They're got a great young list.
Yeah.
Brayshaw, Chera and all them. Yeah. Caleb Serong. Good players.
So we move on to the GWS Giants. So they're currently 6-3 and 104% on the ladder. Can we go with you? Start off.
Yeah, we'll go Lockie Midfield, best player of the season, 23 disposals, average and 77% efficiency. Most improved player, Harry Perryman.
Yep.
He's been great, as well as the most surprised player for me. Best pickup, Lockie Ash from the draft, number pick 4. Player didn't perform to expectations. Either Phil Davis, he's been ordinary this year. Best young player, Tim Taranto and Jacob Hopper. Most missed player this season is Toby Green. Missed a lot of games. Most underrated player is Zach Williams. Players leaving are Jeremy Cameron out of contract, Zach Williams out of contract, and Josh Kelly. There's a few trade rumours around there. And All-Australian predictions, I have Nick Haynes, he's a lock I think. Whitfield's looking pretty good, and Josh Kelly with a ladder prediction of 7th.
Yep, cool.
Trade targets, no one really on the radar.
No one really, cool. I'm going to play of the season, Canelio. I can't believe he's talking of him getting dropped. Remember that? Most improved, Taranto. Thought he had a good game, 30 touches on the last game. Callum Ward has surprised me. He's not doing as well this year, is he? Or is he subpar?
He's been alright.
He's been alright, but
he's had injuries.
Yeah, and he's getting older too. Player surprised me, Perryman. He's done well. Well, actually, by the way, Callum Ward was negatively surprised me.
Yeah.
Perryman has done well. He surprised me on a good note. Best signing recruit, no one. Best under 21 player, go Perryman. Best youngster, probably Taranto. but Butter 21 Perryman. Player of the season who's missed, Matt DeBoer and Toby Green, they've been injured for another 3 weeks, I think it is. Most underrated players, Jeremy Finlayson, came top 10 in the Common last year. He's not really talked about, no one really talks about him much. I think, Jeremy Finlayson is the player that people don't really talk about.
In the grand final, he went missing last year. He had one disposal.
He's still a player.
He's a front runner, mate.
Nah, I like him. Ladder position 7th. I think they're doing all right. They've got nothing to worry about. We'll cross over to Geelong. I'll start us off. So they're currently 5th, 6-4 and 122% on the ladder right now. Player of the season, I reckon Cam Guthrie and Dangerfield. They're top 2 in disposals and contested possessions, and top 2 in Dream Team. 7 goal is tracking pretty nicely. Most improved player, Brendan Parfitt. I like him. He's averaging 75 Dream Team. Another one who's surprised me, Cam Guthrie. He was one of the best players this year. Best recruit, nobody. Players, though, well, we could say Jack Stephen.
But he's
the only recruit they got.
Who's he compared to? He's got no
exactly.
set.
Jack Stephen, he's not performing to expectation. Jack Stephen. Best young player, Brian Myers, 11 goals this year, he's absolutely killing it. Most used player, Gary Ablett and Dalhouse. Most underrated player, Charlie Constable. He was picked 36 in 2017. He played 8 games last year. I don't think he's been seen since. Played a couple games.
Clearly done Brady's services, Geelong.
I think he's on the trade table as well, and I predicted to finish 8th.
Yeah. For me, you got player of the season. Definitely Sam Menegola, averaging 21 disposals and 8 goals for the year. Can be a goal stick up forward. Goal kicking forward is what every team loves to have. And also Mitch Duncan's been very well this year, averaging 20 disposals and 4 score involvements a game. Most improved player, as I said, Menegola stepped up his game this year, and Cam Guthrie, who filled in for Joel Selwood when he went down. Best signing, no one. Jack Stephen, as you said, but even he's been ordinary. Player who didn't perform to expectation is Jack Stephen as well. Hasn't done much. Player that surprised me is Cam Guthrie. Best young player is Brian Myers. Most missed player this season is Luke Dalhouse and Gary Ablett. Obviously great for the setup. Dalhouse is good tough nut, applies a lot of pressure and tackles, and Ablett goal sneak. Most underrated player is Charlie Constable, as you said, picked 36 in 2017 draft. Since he's come in this year, he's just been great in the midfield. I think he's averaging over 20 touches. Yeah, he's been very good for them. Trade targets, no one really on their radar. I guess they can go for a key backman because Harry Taylor might be on there.
Paddy Dow for Constable.
Yeah, could do that.
Paddy Dow's from Geelong.
I'm saying Harry Taylor could be retiring, so
they're very old as well.
Yeah,
it's Taylor, Ablett, Dangerfield.
Players leaving. Constable, I think he's good as gone. Yep. Even though they're playing now, I think he just lost trust in Chris Scott. He's missed too many games for a guy of his talent. He could be getting games at any other club, I reckon. So yeah, I reckon he's out. Linked to Essendon, who need a strong inside mid. Ablett probably retiring. We'll see how that goes. And Tom Hawkins, in fact, he's out of contract. There's some talk he could be on the outer, but I think he'll stay. He's a loyal Cats man. He grew up around Geelong. All showing predictions are Tom Hawkins. I think he can make the squad. 5 goals against the Saints. And Mitch Duncan, he's been really good. Ladder prediction is 8th.
He's also leading their goal assists as well. Tom Hawkins, so he's not only a goal scorer, but he shares it around as well.
Yeah.
So it shows he's a team player, and he always has been for majority of his career.
Gold Coast. This is Gold Coast. Player of the season got Tuka Miller. He's been great this year. Stepped up since Matt Rao got injured, and obviously Matt Rao has been one of their best players this year. For injury, he was definitely a rising star winner, and even Brownlow contention, surprisingly, for a first-year player.
Very underrated.
Matty Rao, hats off to you. Most improved players, definitely, by a country fucking mile. Hugh Greenwood, most tackles in the comp, which is 8 per game. And
leading it by 20. Second is 20 behind him.
Averaging 18 touches a game. He's been so good for them. What a pick-up. I think they traded a packet of chips and some jelly frogs for him. He's also been the most surprised player, Hugh Greenwood. Best signing, pick-up recruit has been Hugh Greenwood and even Brandon Ellis, bringing over his Richmond experience and premiership experience. He's been very good for the youngsters. Player didn't perform to expectation. Will Brodie, clearly on the outer. He was picked 9 in the 2016 draft, I think. He was actually touted as a number 1 draft pick early in the championships. And even Alex Sexton this year has been kicking the goals he normally would. Most missed player has definitely been Matt Rao. Since he's gone down, they clearly have been playing at the same level they were. Most underrated player is definitely Lockie Balla and Charlie Ballard off fullback. Trade targets, no one really, I don't think.
Yeah.
Players leaving are Will Brodie and even Jared Harbour is out of contract. And all Australian predictions, Smokey Tukamilla.
Yeah.
Maybe the squad.
Speaking of, where was it? There's another question. Jordan Jaworski asked us thoughts on the Lockie Weller pick 2 trade. How did that pan out for both clubs? Who won that?
Well, definitely.
Pick 2 is
You
best.
see, pick 2's overs for him. He's not worth pick 2. But I've also thought about Gold Coast in that period were drafting a lot of players with pick 1 and pick 2 and pick 3. A lot of top 10 picks who would rock up, play their first 2 seasons and then piss off to another club. At least with Weller, pick 2 is overs, but they're trading in a guy who wants to be there, who will play over 200 games for that club and who's a very serviceable player.
Yeah.
And he's probably a B+ player.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Panthers for me, Hugh Greenwood leading tackles in AFL by 20 compared to the second.
Yep.
Most improved Ballard, player that surprised me, Jared Witts over the last 2-3 years. Hugh Greenwood, best recruit by a country mile. Not to say Alice hasn't been doing that good either. Team performance expectation, Ainsworth, best young player, Matt Rao by a country mile. Most missed player this year, Matt Rao as well. He's been injured. Most underrated, this is a piss take. Does Rory Thompson still play there?
Little Rory Thompson.
Rory, the racing car, and then ladder prediction 12th. I got him. Just
12th,
below
yeah.
the Blues.
No, definitely huge strides this year. Huge strides for Gold Coast this year.
Yeah.
Massive improvement.
That wraps up our first half of the teams that we've just reviewed. As you just saw us rating all the players, that's part 1 of our not quite mid-season review, but the season so far review, we're going to call it. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure you tune in for the next 9 teams, part 2 season review.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.